Alright, how's it going everyone? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another Undisputed video. Now this is going to be, I'm doing this post-commentary. And this was like a little test. I wanted to just see the effectiveness. I know this game's got a reputation already for being really spammy. So just what I'm doing on the screen here, I'm just setting it to Pro before I carry on. Just setting it to Pro, no damage modifiers. Put it on Pro because it's the most sort of balanced of the hardest difficulties. Rather than putting it on the hardest difficulty, wouldn't give a fair showing of what I'm trying to achieve here. So I wanted to see the difference in playing this game from a technical standpoint as opposed to playing it from like a spammy standpoint. So for the first half of this fight, I said to myself, for the first 6 rounds, or for the first 5 rounds, I think, I'm going to try and play as technically as possible. Like I'm playing as Ali here, so I'm going to try and like sort of simulate a technical fight, like staying on the outside, popping in with the jab, using sort of realistic combinations that you might see a boxer throw, like right uppercut, left hook, and jab, left hook, right straight, or a 1-2 and then a liver shot, you know, things like that, rather than just like unrealistic combinations. So like 2-3 punch combinations at most, nothing too crazy. And then when I get to, I think it's the 6th round, I'm gonna change the play style up dramatically just to see how different it is and how quickly can I put my opponent in danger. And I've picked Marciano on purpose as the opponent here, so stat wise Ali is a little bit stronger. I think he's like 93 and Marciano's like 90, so there's like 3 points in it. But Marciano's known for his durability in this game. He can take quite a few shots, same with like Gatti, you know what I mean? He's got like a good heart stat and he can keep getting up. But you've got to really put it on Marciano in this game to hurt him. So that's why I'm picking these two. So as you can see, I'm just trying to stay on the outside. Throwing a few jabs. I'm trying to make my opponent miss and punish like that. Like get a counter off a punish miss. And I'm also trying to do a few block counters. So rather than just backing out all the time and wait for the opponent to miss, then step in and counter. Sometimes I'll hang in the pocket and try and guess the block counter correctly and fire off a block counter in the pocket and get a counter shot that way. So I'm trying to like mix it up on which counters I'm trying to get. And it's I'm also just hitting them with normal shots that are not counters. I'm not throwing too many power shots. Maybe the odd power right straight up top. That's pretty much all I like to do. I try to avoid using Ali's right hook. You'll notice I only start to use it in like the 5th round because everyone knows it's kind of an overpowered punch in this game for Ali. It's like dialed up to the max and it only takes a few right hooks from Ali to put the opponent in danger. So for the first like 4 or 5 rounds I tended to stay away from the right hook just to try and because the fight will be over in a matter of minutes, like if I just kept throwing right hooks. So like this is what am I trying to show with this video really? It's like everyone knows that the game's got a problem with spam. And the other thing that people are not happy with, including myself, is the damage areas. So, like, particularly, I don't know, to the body as well, but more so to the head. So there's, like, left side, right side, and centre. And the devs did address in their last roundtable that they are eventually going to get rid of this damage system and just go for, like, head and body. They're not going to have left head, right head, centre head, left body, middle body, right body. They're going to get rid of it. They're just going to like keep it to what's kind of been traditional in combat sports games. So it's just like head and body, you know what I mean? There's not going to be a left and right side or a centre side. So they have addressed that is going to change, but obviously that update is still yet to come. But if anything, this video is just showing you why it's a good idea to change up the damage system, because as you can see so far, I'm trying to mix up my combos. I'm hitting him with jabs, which is hitting his either the centre or the right side of his face. I'm hitting him with left hooks, which is affecting the right side of his face. I'm hitting him with right uppercuts that are affecting the middle or possibly right side. Depends how the opponent is turned to you when the punch is thrown. That will affect the area, because sometimes I might throw a left hook to the body and it'll class as right side damage, but depending on how Marciano is stood, sometimes it might hit the middle of his body. The left hook might hit the middle of his body, so it'll count as centre mass damage rather than right side. So it depends on how the opponent is facing you in the transition. You know, that'll dictate where the striker will land and what damage is scored accordingly. But overall, what I'm getting at is, this is a good example of why multiple damage areas are not a good idea, and just restricting it to just head and body is a much better idea. Because as you can see, because I'm throwing various strikes, like I said, it's spreading the damage out across the face. So it's like there's a bit of damage going to the left side, there's a bit of damage going to the right side, there's a bit of damage going to the centre, and I feel like this is why a lot of the fights go to decisions. Yeah, you do get some that like end in flash KOs and flash knockdowns and stuff, or you get flash knockdowns. But a lot of the critique this game has had is with like the fights go on for too long, like half an hour as an average it'll take to go to a decision. And I feel that's because the damage is being spread out across all these different damage zones. And once we get to the back end of this video, you'll see that that is true, and how the fight can be ended so much quicker by. This is why people spam, because it just targets one area of the face. You know, it's not rocket science. This has been known for a while now. Like, and you'll see it. Like, you stick to the end of the video, and you'll see just the dramatic change. Like, as you can see, I've hit him with like a bunch of, like, and there's a nice counter uppercut there. Like, an uppercut's a powerful punch, and that should get the opponent's attention if you hit them with a solid uppercut. You know, an uppercut's like a fucking night punch most of the time when you, especially a counter one. You know, in real life and in the virtual world. You know, and just because I like to play against the AI, I'm more of a single player combat sports gamer. I also do the career modes and stuff. But this applies to the online as well. This is not a case of, oh, well, that's just against the AI, it's not going to work. Like, this kind of gameplay can be done against the AI or online. You get people going online playing like I am here, trying to make it as realistic as possible with their approach, or you can get players that just go fucking full on spamtastic and just start uncorking hooks all day. You know what I mean? So this is not a case of, oh, this is against the AI, so it doesn't apply. This is like core. This does apply both online and offline, in my opinion. What I'm doing here, and this is like if anything, it's just a test to show. Like I said just then, the damage areas are gonna need to be changed, which they've already addressed that they are gonna change it. And also, it's just like how blatantly, what's the word I'm looking for? How too effective spam is, as opposed to trying to box technically. Like making your opponent miss and punish him with good. Oh, look at that, like hard power right straight there. Did fuck all. You know, but as you'll see in a minute, when I switch it up to spam, it's like I've just gone fucking Super Saiyan mode, or whatever that anime fucking reference means. I don't watch fucking Dragon Ball Z, but you know what I mean? It's like I've fucking just leveled up all of a sudden. As soon as I start switching to hooks, I become like One Punch Man. And I literally do become One Punch Man in the 6th round here, and you'll see why. So just stick with me until I get to the 6th round. Okay, got him with a bit of damage now, but this has been after 4 rounds. Sorry, got him in like a health state now, but it's been after 4 rounds of like throwing combinations and hitting them with counters, and we're in the 4th round. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not saying it has to happen in the 1st round, but at least give me like a couple of like rocked states as a reward for good counter punching. You know, maybe in the 2nd or 3rd round. Because if this was against a human, if I was Marciano and I got rocked in like the 2nd round off a counter uppercut, I'd be thinking, shit, I've got to watch out for that counter uppercut. He's catching me with that. There's no danger. You know what I mean? There's no lethality to the punches at this stage, and that's what needs to be added. There's a nice counter left hook there. As you can see, it didn't really affect him too much on the damage bar there down at the bottom. But yeah, we've had him in one sort of health state at the moment, but it's come from 4 rounds of sort of constant combinations. Like I'm throwing a combination like every couple of seconds. Like I'm stepping in, attacking, stepping back for a sec, and then I'm stepping in again. So I'm throwing a lot of punches here. And we've only had 1 health event off a bunch of counters that I've hit him with. So I can't remember if it's this round or it's the next round. We'll find out now. When I just switched to fucking One Punch Man. Okay, it's the next round. So I did it in the 6th. So this is the last round of throwing combos. And then we switch to fucking One Punch Man mode, and we see the difference. You know, this is a... I understand that it's their first game, you know what I mean? It's Steel City's first game. But I think Ash Habib thinks he's got the perfect boxing game sussed out in one home run swing, like his first game. Like, and that's just not the case. Like, this is not a realistic boxing experience. You can play it. You can play it technically if you want. Like I'm trying to do here. You can do that by all means, but there's no reward for doing it. Or there's very little. There's more reward in spamming, which this video is going to show you in like another minute's time. So instead of like Ashabib and the rest of the developers sort of blowing smoke up their own ass and sucking themselves off and patting themselves on the back with this the most realistic boxing game we've had to date, like they need to take a step back and say, okay, actually, do you know what? It's not that. We haven't quite cracked it on our first game. You know, there's game developers who've been working on combat sports games for years. You know, EA with the Fight Night games and the UFC titles, and it's still not been 100%. You may not 100% ever crack it, get the perfect combat sports game. You know, but for Steel City to come out the gate and say that they've got it sussed on their first attempt, it's just like, you know, it's just an ego trip of ego trips, you know what I mean? It's like, just, where are you getting that from? So as you can see here, I start hitting him with the right hook a little bit more. If anything, it's just highlighting how fucking broken Muhammad Ali's right hook is in this game. Look at that. I mean, I was just about to say, I probably could have got another health event again by just putting it on him here, but we all know that the right hook is fucked anyway, so I thought, well, it's not really adding anything to the conversation by just going at him with right hooks. Okay, watch what happens now. I turn into One Punch Man, and I say to myself, I'm only going to use the left hook. This is the only punch I'm allowed to throw from this point on, is the left hook. Now let's just sit back here and watch how this plays out. I'm not going to say anything. Just let the footage speak for itself.
Just gets out of the way of that right uppercut. This fighter has tested their opponent's power and apparently isn't impressed as they continue to walk through all these power shots.
Don't get trigger happy, because all of a sudden you're going to be gassing yourself out trying to get that shot, and that's when they catch you.
These two are the perfect dance partners. That one will count. He got caught clean by a left hook. Rocky Marciano covering up, trying to buy some time to get out of trouble. Oh, do you believe this? Rocky Marciano is down.
So there you go. After just what we didn't even get to the end of the round, and just through spamming, just for almost a round straight, we get a knockdown, which we've not even had up until this point. And also, as you can see, I know the devs patched that if you start throwing with the same arm over and over again, there is a little bit of slowdown. But as you can see, it's not really affected me much. I'm still throwing it, and I've just got another knockdown. I've just got 2 knockdowns in the one round as soon as I started spamming in the 6th round. 2 knockdowns in one round, all from throwing one punch. And the punch slowdown, I don't feel like I'm getting penalised for it. Yeah, the animation itself is slowing down. But I feel rather than just slow it down, how about it's barely got any power? Like, take the power right off it. Like, as soon as you get to, like, the 3rd... You know, double left hooks are a thing in boxing. You can do that. You can, like, double up on a side. You know, double right hook or left hook to the body, left hook to the head. Like, doubling up on a punch is not an unheard-of strike in boxing. But, I mean, let's cut it off once it gets to, like, 3 or 4. Do you know what I mean? Maybe once the 3rd one comes out, it's got, like, no power on it. Like, take the power right off, so you can't just keep... It's pointless to keep throwing it, because it's going to have no power. Here's another knockdown. So I've had 3 knockdowns in a short space of time, just throwing one punch. You see what I'm saying? Like, I spent 5 rounds trying to box as technically as possible. And I couldn't get a knockdown. Maybe if I would have put the pressure on there in the 5th round, I had a health event there at the end of the 5th. Yeah, I could have got a knockdown, but I made a point of, like not trying to go for the kill, just because I knew this is what's going to happen in the 6th. I thought, if I just do this one technique, I know exactly how it's going to go. And you might say, oh, well, this is not a fair test because you've spent 5 rounds hitting him with other shots and causing a lot of damage, but it doesn't make a difference. I tested this. I should have recorded it. I wish I did now. But I did the same fight again, and I just spammed left hooks from the offset from the first round, and I knocked him out in the 3rd round. And I wish I would have recorded it, but this gameplay speaks for itself. So yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. I won't go on any longer. You know, I'm not showing you anything that wasn't already known. But to those of you who've not got your hands on the game yet, like console players, like this is what you can come to expect, and for PC players, you already know the score, you know. So yeah, the multiple areas of the multiple damage areas are going to go. That's coming soon, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. You need to be rewarded for counter-punching and technical gameplay. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.